Is there a new wide receiver one in Miami? And is his name Chris Bell? I'm going to give you a scouting report. We're going to break down some film and we're going to answer that question. Because you know what? When he's healthy and he's back, I think there just might be. With the 94th pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins got an absolute steal in Louisville wide receiver Chris Bell, who is more than likely a first-round pick, top of the second-round pick at worst, if not for an ACL tear last season. Bell was a multi-sport athlete in high school, running track, basketball, and football, even facing off against Travis Hunter as a senior in high school, where Chris Bell, he had 5 receptions for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns against Travis Hunter. Yes, the signs were there early on regarding just how dominant this kid can become. Remember, Travis Hunter went on to win the Heisman Trophy in 2024, as well as the Chuck Bednarik Award as college's top defensive player. Then was drafted number 2 overall. Yep, Chris Bell worked him over. And what's scarier, like Hunter, Bell has gotten better every year since they met in high school. That doesn't get you fired up about what we may have on our hands. I don't know what will. He's 6'2", 222 pounds, and moves very well for his size. This is why many expected him to run in the 4.3s or at worst the 4.4s if he participated in the combine. In a weak Miami wide receiver room, not only does he profile as a dynamic receiving and yak threat, especially on underneath routes, he's not going to have much competition aside from Jaylen Tolbert, as it stands right now for the most targets when he eventually comes back healthy. Bell's potential early success in this Miami offense is really going to come down to how quickly he can pick up the playbook and, find a level of comfort with it, as well as with Malik Willis, which probably won't take too long. Bell can line up as an X receiver out of the slot, kill a defense underneath, or stretch it vertically if he has to. I like how strong he is at the catch point as well, and as how dependable his hands are when he's contested by defenders, and he really doesn't drop the pigskin often. He tracks the ball well, has very sizable catch radius, and because of his acceleration and overall explosiveness, along with his spatial awareness and understanding of open field angles, he's an absolute headache for defenses after the catch. He's also tough to bring down because he loves playing through contact. There's no way around it. Chris Bell has a very unique blend of size, explosiveness, and playmaking ability that is rarely found as late as he was in the 3rd round of the draft, as Miami found it this year with him. And it's honestly led to some A.J. Brown and Terrell Owens comparisons with his play, and I get it. Listen, he's not a perfect prospect by any stretch of the imagination. And once he's fully healthy, he's going to benefit from the tutelage of new Dolphins wide receiver coach Tyke Tolbert, who joined Hafley's staff when he became the new head coach of the Dolphins. And Tolbert is one of the best in the business. Bell needs improvement on his release packages, needs to tighten up and crispen the breaks in and out of his routes, needs his route tree expanded due to Louisville's spread offense's limited requirements in that area. And really, it's more of a situation where he needs refinement on the technical side of his game, which is all coachable. Outside of coaching, I would say he just needs to rein in the moments where he lets his emotions get the best of him, as it's led to unsportsmanlike and personal foul penalties that won't be tolerated at the next level. But I want to get into a bit of tape where I want to highlight a few areas of his game that you've seen in these highlights. His ability to track the ball with strong hands and contested catches, the vertical threat he can present against the defense, as well as I want to highlight just how big of a yak threat this guy can really be. And you got to love it. You got to love what we might have here. So let's start off here with contested catches, ball tracking, and his strong hands, because Bell is a high-level ball tracker with strong hands to match and can make tough catches through the physicality defenders present. So let's get into it here, all right? So Bell, he's at the top of your screen right here as an X. He's facing man. The corner's going to flip his hips at the snap. He's going to run vertical with him. And watch, Bell, he's going to run an outside fade. He's going to win the hand fight through the stem that you just saw there. And look how he tracks that throw to his outside shoulder. Let's watch it here. Watch how he turns his body, makes the adjustment, and he's going to corral the catch. Look at that. fully turns, fully makes it. And if Shuck puts more juice under that, that's over his inside shoulder, and Bell takes it in for 6 there. So Bell right here, he's at the top of the screen in a 1-by-1 look, this time with a cushion versus zone. And watch, he's going to run an out route here, and he's going to use a stab step towards the inside of the field at the top of his stem before he breaks out towards the sideline. And it's just an awful throw by, Miller Moss here. There's just no juice on it. And it turns it into a contested catch. This is a throw that should be leading him out towards the sideline. And watch the lack of the velocity. I mean, you can see, look at that. That ball is wobbling, right? And look at how contested that is. And look at him just fighting through the contested catch. Great stuff there, displaying the hands that you love to see. So Bell, he's now at the top of the screen as your X. He's against man. And watch this. Again, he's going to play through the physicality and the hand fighting through the stem of his fade route. But watch how he's going to turn his body back towards Moss. Watch how he's going to reach out, and watch what he's going to do here. Look at this. Flays through the physicality, gets the outside one-handed snag with a defender draped all over him for a touchdown. Listen, this is a big boy play with ball tracking, contested catching, and strong hands. They're all on display at once right here. Look at this. Look at that. Oof. I mean, nothing more the defender can do there. He played him to the outside. So really now, when people tell you Chris Bell can't stretch a defense vertically, that comes down to his usage in 2024 and 2025 differing, because honestly, I think flat out Miller Moss couldn't make the throws that Tyler Shuck could make, plain and simple. And even still, Tyler Shuck managed to underthrow this guy in Chris Bell, because we're dealing with legitimate 4.3, 4.4 speed you're going to see on display right here. So, man, he's just a playmaker. So right here, he's against cover 3. So again, he's going to have a cushion for his release. And again, he's going to love that stab step. He's going to stab step inside. Then he's going to take an outside release on his go route. And look at this. Shuck is going to actually underthrow this. And watch the adjustment you're going to see by Bell here over the shoulder. I mean, you're really going to appreciate it from the goal line view, but this displays his vertical threat, ball tracking, strong hands, and because he has to hold up, the catch does become a bit contested. This ball is out in front of him at 6. That 4.3, low 4.4 speed is on display here. Look at that adjustment. Are you kidding me? What a great catch. What a great catch. So Bell, he's at the bottom of your screen here now against cover 4. He's going to once again take an outside release on his go route. And watch this. Once again, he's going to have to slow up for the ball. And he's going to actually realize when the ball's coming towards him mid-stem, before he gets to the top of it, that he's got to extend his arm and fight through contact. And he does. And he holds the ball in. And you really see it on the goal line view here. And remember, Malik's going to have a stronger arm than Shuck to get these last 2 throws out ahead of him. But look at, he's got to fight through that. And again, if that's out ahead of him, that's 6. So Bell, he's in the slot here, right? It's against zone, the safety at the top of your screen, right? Bell is to those hashes where I have them circled, the safety to the same side, to the inside of those hashes. He's going to bite on the play action here. And that second level is Bell's playground on the deep crossing route. After that, he's going to find the soft spot right there that you see over the second level defenders, in front of the deep defenders. Well-placed ball, and he almost houses it for 6 here. Don't let anyone tell you can't stretch a defense vertically. I think he was just limited by Miller Moss's arm in 2025, and even Shuck with the bigger arm in 2024 would underthrow him from time to time. So, man, he can stretch you if he wants. Pause. So, after the catch is probably Bell's biggest strength, as he can be tough to bring down, takes great angles, and he has legitimate home run speed with big time acceleration to match. So, when you watch him at work, he's a legitimate home run threat playmaker. Like, ain't no lying here. So right here, he's going to motion along the backside to the bottom of the screen, and he's going to release on the flat right at the bottom of the screen. Now, Shuck is going to make the throw under duress. Bell is going to bobble it at the catch point, but then he's going to haul in, turns the corner right there, and he hits the acceleration right there. And look, he's gone. He's off to the races. You know, he outraces the whole defense and turns what should have been a short gain into a 60-plus touchdown. That is true game-breaking potential. Remember, he's not 190 pounds. He's not 200 pounds. This is 222 pounds doing this after the catch. So Bell, he's at the bottom of your screen here, and look at him. Boom. Look at that. He just split the defenders right there with his slant. And did you see how he out-physicaled that press corner to create separation off his release? Unbelievable stuff. And from there, it's over. The nitrous oxide turns on to boost his engine towards the end zone for 6. And look at this. Even going to fight through a little contact and spin off it for a good measure. So now, Hurricane fans, you'll remember this play from when he went off against Miami in 2025 for 9 catches, 136 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's just going to run a simple drag route, and you're going to see 2 frontline defenders drop into coverage, and he's just going to split them. He's going to split those second-level defenders right there. They drop into coverage, and then look at that safety came up, and look at the void that safety has left on the field. Look at all that space. What does he do? Bell's now going to take that angle back to the space occupied where the safety who bit down and missed should have been. Boom, he's off to the races for 6. You know, he's got the smarts and spatial awareness to match his speed, which makes him so dynamic after the catch and in space with the ball in his hands. Ain't no doubt about it. I mean, I love what he offers. I really do. He's a special player. Man, Chris Bell, when you look at this and you look at where they got him, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Not only did the Miami Dolphins get amazing value with where they selected Chris Bell in the draft, they may have hit a grand slam, never mind a home run with this pick, health permitting. So the Miami Dolphins, we know they have a history with receivers from Louisville, from Mark Clayton to Devontae Parker. And I think Chris Bell will have success leaning towards the former rather than the latter in that comparison. But again, if he has a healthy career, because this is an explosive athlete that is very, very dynamic. And you got to be excited because we don't have anything like that in the room right now. And I think that's why when Jon-Eric Sullivan was talking to Tom Pelissero, remember, he talked about Caleb Douglas, but then right after that, he talked about Chris Bell. And out of the 2 of them, Chris Bell was the one he labeled as a difference maker. Just saying. And there's a reason why he did that. So I want to shout out the sponsor of today's video. That, of course, is Prize Picks. And they are America's #1 sports pick app. No matter what sport you're watching, there's no better way to make the action more exciting than with Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made simple. You just pick more or less on your favorite players' projections and build lineups in a few taps. Whether it's football, basketball, or any other sport you're into, like playoff hockey, Prize Picks gives you a fun way to stay locked in on every play while you're watching. And to get you started, they're hooking you up with $50 in lineups that you play your first $5 lineup when you use code HMA. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code HMA to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. That's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Man, it's good to be right. Link in the description below. Again, shout out to Prize Picks. Shout out to you for watching this and coming this far and supporting the channel. Please, if you like what you saw today, do me the favor. It only takes 2 seconds. Smash the like button. If you are new here, please subscribe. Over 60% of you that are watching aren't subscribed. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn the notification bell on while you're at it so you're always notified when I drop a new video or when we go live so you can interact with the community. Until next time, you already know what time it is. Fins up all day, every day, and I'll see you next time.